welcome to More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Nerd.
And welcome to episode 268. Today we're going to be talking about We Want More Fun. Something that's come up over the weekend, and not really the weekend, it's been kind of boiling for a bit about the cost of going to conventions, the cost of paying for things, the cost of just playing a single tournament. And something that's come up, and I've been talking with a lot of different TOs and different people. And thank you, Xander, for keeping the meow going. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit to go in it. Before we do it, let's go and get to our sponsors. We want to thank Creature Caster for providing us with some cool stuff and minis. Make sure you check out their game Judgment, which is actually a very small, very affordable miniature game. You maximum need 7 models. And it is what John likes to call a board game miniature game because it's played on a gridded system, but it's still very good. Also, make sure you check out their 5th edition Tribe that they've got going on, where you get 10 to 12 models a month, usually like normal size and then like one large size, and then a 5th edition module that goes along with it, which is really good and very reasonably priced.
It's super cool.
Yeah, anytime you can give models and a game, I'm for it. Also, they'll be running 2 of those modules at Warfare Weekend, so keep that in mind. We want to thank Muse on Minis, of course, for hosting the channel and putting it out for everybody so they can see it. Make sure you go check out their website and pick up anything that you might find very awesome. I know they're doing some terrain and some other things, so be careful. We want to thank Parabellum War Games, makers of Conquest. They have got a bunch of new models out right now for the Wadroon, which is and I put quotes around it, orc faction with dinosaurs.
What's better than orcs, Gonzo?
Orcs riding
Orcs
dinosaurs.
and dinosaurs.
So you can check them out. And actually, they're going to be at Warfare Weekend doing demos with Conquest. Oh, yeah. The models look awesome. And we want to thank Midnight Heroes, good maker of good chibi miniatures. They will be, I think they're next going to ReaperCon, which they'll have some new stuff there. And then they're coming to Warfare Weekend. Which will be really, really awesome to see them because they'll have a special edition miniature just for the convention, just for Warfare Weekend, and we'll have rules to be played in their chibi miniature game. So,
it's kind of sad I'm not going to be there to get one.
they'll be selling them online too.
There you go.
But they're going to sell them first at Warfare Weekend.
Awesome.
Captain Mizzy did help name the new miniature, so we will go with that.
Nice.
What else? Actually, Nerd hasn't even seen that miniature yet.
I haven't seen that miniature
Artwork.
yet.
You haven't seen the artwork for that yet?
I don't think you shared it with me. I mean, you could explain what it's going to be, but it's all
I
good.
guess I'll have to share it because I can share the artwork for it with certain people. It is a chibi miniature based off of the convention that will go live. I know he's getting it sculpted and everything and painted right now, so just gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
So, man, that was a mouthful. Guys, we have been changing up our logo and changing up the way we look and the way things are going. I hope that you like it all. We are going to be doing some other things coming up, but this is part of all our new rebranding and doing things. We hope you enjoy everything. I possibly might have to change my streaming schedule on Tuesday because my new job, I believe, wants me to come in on Tuesdays for a bit, and so that's going to be possibly there. So maybe switching the night that I do my streaming. So just kind of be flexible. I'm probably playing some Baldur's Gate 3 for a bit because if you haven't seen it, the newest amount of people playing it consecutively is 824,000 people.
Which is about 8 times more than they expected.
Yes. They were like, oh, yeah. Oh, Captain Mizzy, thank you. Turbo Dork. Don't forget, Turbo Dork's one of our sponsors, too. Totally forgot that one. Ooh. Sorry, Turbo Dork. Which somebody did get a gift certificate last week, got some stuff in, and got their stuff really quickly. Banyan got some stuff super, super quick from them. But we want to thank Turbo Dorks. If you like metallic paints and turbo shifting paints, make sure to check them out. They've always got some new paints coming out. I like their metallics. They're really good. So sorry, Turbo Dork, we love you. But I'll probably be playing that, and I think it's interesting because people are bitching at the company because the company is a kind of fairly small, unknown company, and has made one of the top-rated games of all time, and other developers and publishers are pissed at them because they're making it a very good game.
If you would allow me to retort, then maybe if they make a fucking good game out of the fucking gate that doesn't have microtransactions and it's not actually complete, and they don't actually respect their fucking players, maybe people won't be so upset with them.
Yeah,
They're
they're
going to raise the bar. Hey, y'all lowered the bar. We used to get complete games back in the day.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, this game is, I will tell you, I've been playing this nonstop, doing everything, and I'm loving it. And man, I fucked up really hardcore on one thing. I challenged a god. That was not the thing to do.
I totally agree. The shove mechanic in Baldur's Gate is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Everything's great with it. Xander, I mean, everything is great. There are very few complaints, and the complaints are more my bad. Like when I'm trying to click something and I accidentally click on the roof of something because I'm trying to see through the roof, and my character tries to go walk on the roof, and I'm like, damn it. So, but nothing has been like horrible at all. Everything's been fun. Character's been great. I want to get a party together because we may do a sipping the paint water with us four.
Pass the paint water?
Pass the paint water. Sorry.
You don't drink paint water. What the hell is wrong with you, man?
I'm like,
Actually, no, I know.
I really don't want to drink any of this.
I've been drinking paint water. And we may do a 4-player playthrough of Baldur's Gate and make our characters when we do that one night. I think one of us has to figure out if they've got a machine that'll run it, and then we could do that because I want to play a paladin. So you other three have to figure out what y'all want to play. So
Rogue or Bard next time.
I will tell you right now, playing the Bard with as much stuff that I have to do and as many, talking, deceiving, and stuff like that, my Bard's like, oh, this is a skill check of 30. Bitch, I got that. I already got it like a plus 15.
Oh, I've heard bards are ridiculous in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing right now, and they're ridiculous. They're insanely stupid.
I decided to go easy mode and just went fighter. Like, let me learn the game mechanics, because again, unlike you guys, I never played either of the first two. So
I mean,
I just watched people play.
It's been a minute since I've played Baldur's Gate 2. It's been more than a minute. It's been a fucking while.
Well, how many decades ago did that come out?
It was like 20 years ago.
Ow. First of all, using decades.
No, it's because I remember Baldur's Gate 2 coming out, and the guy that I dated out right after high school was playing it, so I know it's at least that old.
Still, that's something us old people know. When you start using decades, we usually use it to annoy the fucking young kids. Now you're using it actually hurts.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
The 90s. That was only 20 years ago.
I know.
No, it wasn't. It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, so we went off a slight little tangent there, but there are so many people playing this game. And, I mean, when you got 820-some-odd thousand people playing a game, it's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually getting review bombed right now by bots because of the studio's issues and such. So that's what's coming about. Do we have any shout-outs this week, by the way? Anybody know anybody? Anything?
Let's see.
Not top of my head, but I mean.
Busy mentioned DJ Casper, and then the guy who was the voice actor behind Dale from King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, I didn't really watch King of the Hill, but man, they had some.
I don't know his name. I just saw.
Fucking hit hard.
Yeah.
It's like a picture of the other three of them, and then there's just a hat and a beer on the ground between them, and it's like, I don't even watch it much, but that fucking hits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Pocket sand.
Pocket sand. And I don't know DJ Casper, but
I had to have my husband explain to me who it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd actually Google, but Captain Mizzy knows. Pee Wee Herman was last week, Xander, so yes. We had to get Paul Rubin last week. Let's get to the really, really stupid, some of the most important things that all of our listeners must have
Wait,
is...
Captain DJ Casper did Cha Cha Slide?
Yeah, you got
Okay.
It's one of those songs that gets played at like
everywhere.
Weddings and school dances.
Look,
Oh,
I can say for a fact, every time I helped my cousin DJ a wedding, we did not play the Cha-Cha Slide because we have standards.
do you need to do a shout out to Maui
Yes,
for all the
holy crap.
fires out there? Big hearts out to them.
Apparently,
That's all.
deadliest wildfire in history, in U.S.
Yep.
history.
So.
I mean, they're on an island. There ain't nowhere to go.
Nerd, what are you drinking tonight?
I've got a press hard seltzer in watermelon sea salt.
Okay.
Okay.
It's something new that came into the house. I'm giving it a try.
Yeah, you gotta try everything twice. Might have been doing it wrong the first time.
It's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's not bad.
Not bad also means not necessarily good.
Okay.
Would you purchase it yourself if you were at the liquor store? Oh, wait, you have
Of
liquor
the
store out
flavor options that were in there, yes.
there? Okay. I just remember that, like, maybe you don't go to the liquor store because different states are different.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer myself a hard coffee, but
Oh yeah. John, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm gonna finish off this Maker's Mark,
Sweet.
and then I've got a Code Fireball, and I have previously finished a Blood Orange and vodka.
Okay. My allergies have kicked up something severe this week because I had a lot of rain and a lot of grass and pollen going off. And so I'm just going to be
Ragweed
drinking some
season.
good old water tonight. I mean, my eyes have been so itchy. My nose has been runny. So I haven't been able to take any medication and stuff. So I'm just like, I'm just going to have some good old water. So, guys, we appreciate you listening.
hydrogen dioxide
This shit's deadly.
Yeah, especially if you get it in your lungs.
or dihydrogen oxide. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't sniff it.
You're not Aquaman. You can't breathe water.
You can't breathe water. Now let's talk about
or
the
the-
school. Let's talk about the school board that banned it.
Let's not.
Yeah,
Let's-
there was a school board that banned it because they were like, if you sniff it, it'll kill you. We got to think about the children, and they banned it at a school board meeting.
That makes me hurt on the inside.
Yeah, it's really
This is
nice.
what happens when you don't teach children science.
Yep.
As the daughter of a science teacher, that hurts.
So,
Mr. Wizard is turning over in his grave.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
Mr. Wizard.
loved him.
I haven't thought about him in forever.
He's the pre-Bill Nye.
Yep, very much so.
Oh yeah, we used to watch that in grade school, and then we started watching Bill Nye when I was in like junior high school. You could tell which class was watching it because you just hear the chant of Bill, 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 Bill. Yeah.
So, guys, please take care of yourself. Please look after each other. If you see something, say something. If you can do something, do something. If you can't, find somebody that will. And also, if you hear something, say something. We got to cut an end to this shit. It's not cool.
Don't take anyone's shit.
No. You can take crap because there are certain times you take crap because you have to, but you don't take shit. So, cheers.
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 Ooh, if that didn't go down in my lungs, I'd be dead right now.
All right, you talk about Mr. Wizard and Bill Nye. Now my brain's going to Magic School Bus.
Oh, that was another one.
Man, I'm
Magic
really
School
glad I'm
Bus.
done with this Maker's Mark.
Are you glad you're done with it?
Was that the end of it?
Yeah, I only got a small bottle.
By
Back
the
to
way,
something
digging
a
your
little more
shirts
drinkable.
tonight. We got some Flogging Molly and the Papa Nurgle shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I went to see Flogging Molly and the Interrupters last summer.
Oh, I would
Nurgle wants
love.
hugs.
Oh, have you not seen this shirt before? Captain Mizzy,
It's
will you
adorbs.
link to the lady that does these shirts? Because this is this I love. This is the only shirt I've bought from her, but she has some really really good shirts that you would love. Um, she does some really good fun
As if
shirts.
I need more t-shirts.
Oh, she has amazing T-shirts. Hopefully, Captain Mizzy will link that.
I'm sure she will. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's got a really good website, and a lot of good fun shirts. So you'll have to see them; they're pretty good.
Nice. What you
Um,
painting up today?
so I am going to be working on. This is one of my models for
You
Judgment.
going Nurgly.
He is
Yeah.
Nurgle. He is a pestilence model. Um,
You're a pestilence model.
he can actually use this bell and drop this bell down and cause problems. He's a tank type of monsters. But I think I'm going to be using some sacrificial red glaze to get some, around the pustules to kind of make them, kind of icky
Mm,
and such.
sacrificial red's a good color.
Yep. And then I was going to take and where's the yellow? The bright yellow, and just do a quick, very small, light dry brush over everything first. Just to make the green kind of pop a little bit more type thing.
I think my two favorite greens from Cuttlefish are hands down Lush Valley and Afterlife Green. Afterlife is such a great color, and it's a great one if you highlight it up with the fluorescent yellow.
Yep. That one's
Such
probably going to be one I'm going to use a highlight on that.
yeah.
Yeah, Afterlight Green's it's almost a neon green, but not quite. Here is their neon green. I mean, it's
Oh, Savage Sparrow. I think I saw these guys at
Adepticon.
Adepticon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were at
I
Adepticon.
recognize the Gabo dress.
Yeah.
I was really tempted to get it.
I think Mizzy bought the Gabo dress.
The
Yeah,
Dice
yeah.
Goblin shirt will be mine. Don't worry about that.
The what one?
The Dice Goblin shirt.
Yeah, she has some good fun shirts, and they're
Yes.
really good thick material shirts. They're not that thin material too. So
I mean, yeah, because this one's a little thinner one, but I understand for, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Actually, that's my. If I have to, of course, sidetrack for a second. If I have a complaint about band shirts from just about anything, they're often too thin.
yeah,
My Elton John ones are both a little thin, and then this one's a little thin. And then even the Streetlight Manifesto one I got from their cool set a couple years ago is a little thin. Would like them to be standard weight.
Yeah. Everyone that I've gotten from Sparrow has been, standard weight size. So it's
I
a
need
good
the
thick.
Eat Trash Do Crime shirt.
I would buy that for someone at work who loves raccoons.
So yeah, I'm going to work on this model. But so something came up this week, and I was talking to some other TOs and just, going over different things that are happening in the community. And someone told me that they went to Gen Con and I wouldn't say they were complaining, but they were like, the cost to play games is just getting a little bit outrageous. And I was like, what do you mean? And this is not a slam on Gen Con. Gen Con has a budget that is, outrageous. So they've got to make their money. But, people are starting to go, I can't afford XYZ because it's just too expensive. So they're having to make choices of where they're going to spend their money.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, you start to get to the point where, like, do you go to Gen Con or do you go to, like, multiple other cons during
Correct.
the year for the same overall, like, combined cost of, lodging and event and everything?
Yeah. Because, I mean, okay, so this
Oh,
one
David.
person went to play, was going to play a 2-day tournament of Battletech type thing. And I was like, oh, that would have been cool. And so the badge plus to play in the game was like $230 or something, roughly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, it was over $200 because it was a 2-day event. And so they, charged have to charge more. And then the badge was roughly like 120 or something. I don't want to say it was 260. It was probably about, I'm sure it was more around 200 or so. because it was like
Yeah.
$120 for the badge, and then $60 to play in the tournament because it was a 2-day tournament. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Yeah, no.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
And it was like that was
What
just
I can do for that amount of money is crazy.
Yeah.
Legally.
$200 was just way too much. I mean, and just to play in one tournament, that was it, one. And the thing is we've been talking about the TOs is there's a lot of people that just aren't buying into like tournaments anymore because one, who likes to go to a tournament or go to a convention, pay $200, and they only get to play in one game, or they only get to play half a game because they're curb stomped by people.
Or even just that the time limit runs out and you just only got to play half a game because you're playing competitively, and they got these often little too short time limits that's imposed upon them because they have to get shit done.
Correct.
Yeah.
But Nova Open is in my backyard.
Yep.
I don't go. It's a little pricey, and it's just not what it is. Gonzo, I talked earlier, the other big issue, and this has been happening for years, don't think this is a new thing, but
No.
tournaments are becoming uber competitive. Like, it's no longer, some competitive people like literally are that guy constantly looking for whatever army's doing the best. I mean, I think it was Games Workshop, or someone posted stats of how each Games Workshop army is doing as a win percentage based off tournaments that they've reported. Now, first off, if you see this, just keep in mind it's garbage data. You don't know how many events each thing's going. You don't know any of the details. So just take it for what it is. I look at this as a general overview of how they're doing. I mean, aside from like the top two armies and the bottom three, everyone's between 40 and 60% win percentage. And they're like, oh, that seems a little odd. That's not odd. That's fucking great.
You should have that.
You have 21 out of 26 armies in a 40 in this 20% range is great.
Yeah.
You have a handful of outliers, most of which people agree are a little too low or a little too high. They're the ones everyone says. That's awesome. I don't know why people are worried about that. Like I looked at the stats because it came across my Facebook unrelated of NFL team win percentages for the Super Bowl era. And they're all within that 20% range. That's great. Like, sure, some teams are classically worse, but they're down at the 40% win percentage. That's still not bad.
No.
When you consider everything.
The thing that was coming up was, I'm going to go to Gen Con. And we're just going to use Gen Con example because, they are the thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, they're the big dog. You go to Gen Con. If you're driving, and you've got a bunch of friends that are going, you're cutting in gas, no big deal. It's typically can be cheaper depending on the vehicle you're going in. So say, $100 for gas, because you're sharing it. Then you got to think of hotel. We all know that Gen Con hotel prices, I think, you're paying at least $300 to $400 a night for a room. Then if you're taking a car, you have to pay to park your car every night, and that could be $50 a night. Then you got to pay for food. Then you got to pay for your ticket and then your game. And if I'm going to spend $600 and I only get to play one game, and maybe not all of that game is there, I'm going to be kind of upset. And it's nothing against Gen Con, but I can't afford that, and I won't. Mm-hmm. So a lot of TOs and stuff, we've been talking about it, and they're like, well, we're not getting many people sign up for our competitive events. And I go, why not? And so we were all looking at it, trying to figure it out. And it came down to that if I'm going to pay $500 for the weekend, give or take, wherever convention I'm going to, I want to be able to play more than 3 hours over the weekend.
Yeah.
Type thing. I want to go and play, 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, 10 games, whatever, type thing. I want to be able to get my money's worth.
Yeah.
And that's what it's coming down to.
The value. I mean,
yes.
So you just said that number. You realize that is so much more money than I spent to go to back when it was War Machine Weekend, like, for myself. Like, that was way more money than I spent me and Dave driving from fucking Baltimore to St. Louis. Like, the hotel was cheaper, like, no parking. The event was, like, I paid less than half that, and I got to play tons of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this because I am pimping, but also as an example. The hotel room is $119 a night at Warfare Weekend. We're
That's
only
great. That's fine.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you only needed something for, like, if you really need it, Thursday, Friday,
Well,
Saturday.
Yeah, but don't worry about how long you need it for, because
Yeah.
that's not a fair competitive
No.
comparison. Just say 119 a night versus 300 plus.
Correct. Then, Warfare Weekend, we do not charge per game. The only thing that you pay extra outside of the badge is if you're going to take a class, but artists need to be paid, type thing.
Also, they may have extra, things you get or something.
Yeah.
I can understand paying for something where you get something out of it.
Well, I'm going to pimp my good friend Nestor that does Gundam classes.
Gunpla.
Yeah, you go
Oh,
and take his
nice.
class, you get a Gundam model to take home.
My brother
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah. So I mean, you may be paying $40 for the class, but you're also getting a Gundam model.
Yeah, that's 100% understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting out of hand, and Xander brings up a good note. Is Gen Con is not really a tournament convention anymore.
No.
It's a go, hang out, and all that, and it's a little pricey for that, but it is a good time.
Yeah, there's not like I said, we're not dogging Gen Con because we know that they have to pay for all their
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, that's some people have been asking me is like, how much is this convention? Why can't I get people to come to do this? And I'm like, what's your cost?
It's simple supply and demand, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is more demand than supply, so they're going to charge whatever they can. I don't fault them. That's just the way this is all built.
Yeah.
And just got to find other things to do. Like, I would literally rather hang out in my buddy Marshall's basement playing games with Bowie and whoever, rather than going to a convention. I find that more fun. Like, sure, I want to see people and all, but if the convention's priced too much, it's cost to fun ratio.
Yes. That's the
Yeah.
best thing that we're talking about.
When your cost to fun ratio does not equal that of going out to a movie, you might have a problem, because movies ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Even if you don't count the food, maybe count half the food in there or anything, you got to equal a certain level.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that's another thing. Bowie says he's been to Gen Con twice to pass away War Machine. He got to play 3 of the 4 days, and he came away with the experience. Is that it's not a convention playing in tournaments. Art of Michael Lavoie says he used to not stay downtown for Gen Con, cheaper, but logistic convenience wasn't fun to deal with. For me, it was more of a business trip. Yeah. And then Blue Dragon 28 says the worst thing is every year there's some issue with the housing portal and you can't get a downtown room unless you pay $500 extra just to get a local hotel before the rooms go out to regular badge people. Yeah, there's a lot of things at a lot of conventions that are problematic that they don't realize hurts them in ways that aren't actually hurting them yet. It's just potential hurt. The way I think I forget if it's Gen Con or if it's Adepticon, one of them has a thing where your VIG, whatever it is, literally they offer them to the same people every year first, and if they have more,
Gen
then
Con.
they'll let people in. Gen Con, yeah, that's fucking the good old boys club. That is bullshit.
That
First
is
come,
bullshit.
first serve that shit.
That's Gen Con.
Yeah.
Because Adepticon is first come, first serve for
Yeah.
their VIGs.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nova does it too, Bowie. That's bullshit.
Nova does
You
that?
can't
Really?
good old boys. There's no, you can't do good old boys club. That stuff's going. That's what got us part of the way where we are now. We need to just first come, first serve. It's okay. You want new people in. It makes them want to show up to your event.
Yeah.
When you start making yourself too big for your britches, people will be like, yeah, why am I going to go? Like, I have no desire to go to Gen Con. I know a lot of people who would be there. Could see a lot of old friends. Not worth it.
I mean, and it's coming. What came about of this is also is like, I can't afford to just go there to play for a few hours and then walk around the convention.
No.
I want to do other things, and so we've been noticing that, and this is right. I'm gonna put quotation marks around this. Casual and fun events are actually getting more popular right now. That
Yeah, like pick up D&D games or
Yeah.
casual narrative events. are becoming the new thing that people are really jumping into, which I'm really cool about that.
Well, so the big thing when I was growing up, a younger gamer, back then there was Atlanticon in my area every year, and then back then Origins was a moving con, not a stuck in one place that it's become. And you go to the events and you have pickup role playing games, you'd have one-off role playing games, and they weren't stupid expensive. It was like $4 a head or something for some of the scheduled ones.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got to play a wide variety of stuff. Now, sometimes you can keep your schedule clear because there's one year I got into the second round of certain games because they invite you back if you do a good job. Just, it's a good feeling in your soul. Everyone's like, hey, he role played good. He needs to go to the next round. So, I mean, we got to bring that stuff back. We can't keep making it competitive only. The miniature game hobby has become super competitive when you look at people. And, I mean, I'm not going to blame anyone. When I looked at my knights and found that I had like 2,700 points of knights for 40K, so I don't actually have to buy anything. One of the guys was like, "Oh, hey, can you make this army?" I'm like, "Similar," but I'm like, "Why do I want to make what's a big army just so you guys can test? I mean, I want to play what I want to play. I'm not playing knights because they're good. I'm playing knights because I want giant fucking stompy robots."
Yeah.
But it becomes the whole, oh, I don't use that unit because it's not good. Marshall went to a 40K tournament a couple weeks ago, and he just brought stuff he wanted to bring. He's like, I just painted this Baneblade. I'm fucking using the Baneblade. He brought a bunch of other stuff. And his opponent first round's like, I mean, do you sure want to bring that stuff? It's not really meta or very good. He's like, no, I think it should work a certain way. That should do fine. He's like, you realize my guy's reach, you're going to be dead. It's like, yeah. And then Marshall ended up fucking shit stomping him. Because it worked the way he thought, even though it wasn't meta.
John's into big stompy robots.
I mean, yes. I like big robots and I cannot lie. But, it's one of those things where everyone's so focused on that, we've lost the joy in some ways. Becomes, what's effective? No, that's not effective. What's fucking fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, if I were to ever play Blood Bowl, I want a Cutimals team, hands down.
Okay. I'm
Because
going to excuse myself from the Blood Bowl conversation because that's one of the games where I play well. I just
I've never played Blood Bowl. My old roommate used to play it religiously, and ever since I discovered the Grebo games Cutimals, I'm like, okay, if I ever play Blood Bowl, this is what I'm playing.
Awesome.
I don't know anything about how to play the game other than it is football with minis.
It is very much football with minis.
Except for you can beat the crap out of people as long as you don't get caught.
Well, that's cheating. It's cheating. You don't get caught. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just we've become so.
It has to be a tournament.
Fair and balanced. So one of the best games of 40K I've ever played in my life was me and my buddy Bill Schuler, who's now in Texas. He broke out his Praetorians. I broke out my Orcs. He found the Battle of Orcs Drift in fucking White Dwarf. I forget what number. I have another copy around here. I bought a copy because I'd accidentally thrown mine away when I got rid of most of my White Dwarves because that's such a fond memory. And we played it. It's basically Zulu with Orcs versus Praetorian Imperial Guard because they look like the British of that era. And we had a great time. I don't know if it was balanced. We didn't care if it was balanced. We had some cinematic moments. We had some fun. It was cool. There are a bunch of arbitrary rules in there, and we've gotten so worried about fair, myself included sometimes, that we forget that some of those fun rules are just there to be fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up because last one I went to was Adepticon. And at Adepticon, I was wanting to play War Machine. I didn't want to play any tournaments. I wanted to play the narrative event. And I was like, okay, cool. What do they do in the narrative event? And he was like, just make a 50-point army. We'll tell you what it's about when you get there. But it's not about super competitive. It's about doing cool and fun shit. And so I was like, okay. Brought an army, started playing, and they had this train going across the table. And it was like 5 of us on one side, 5 of us on the other side. And somebody asked the TO, Lauren, if they could get their Trollblood Mauler and go on top of the train and ride the train. And she's like, fuck yeah, why not? Get on it. And so the train started going down the tracks and everything goes. And then the guy's like, can I leap off the train and charge and then, charge into this person? She's like, okay, sure. Just do, make a roll. If you make this roll, you get
Make
it.
some
And then you go
rolls.
to it. Yeah. Make a roll. Here's the difficulty. Go for it. And they did it. And it was cool as shit because a Mauler jumped off the front of the train, charged into a Warcaster, and killed it. And I was like, now that's cool as shit.
That is cool.
And I
I
mean,
mean,
and it was just plain fun narrative, have a good time. And the interesting part about that is the narrative event was sold out all weekend, while the Uber competitive events were half full.
yeah. I mean, I remember
Narrative
hearing.
is more interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
Personally.
I remember hearing about events at all the tournaments and everything through Lost Hemisphere Radio back in the day,
Yep.
in old school, and like they would always talk about the events that had stupid fun stuff.
Yep.
And it was the ones that stuck out. I mean, I ran a Necromunda League after work at Games Workshop for any of the customers who showed up and all of my fellow mail order guys and whoever else wanted to play. And there'd be times when, during a week we're playing a game after work and the guys are like, hey John, I want something cool. Can you do something cool? So I'd walk over and I would basically GM their Necromunda game so they could do cool shit. And then every Friday I'd run a mega event where everyone got to play at once and I would have stupid rules and shit. Just some sort of cool idea in it, and everyone had the greatest time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was part of the only D&D game at Adepticon this year. Like we decided to, my friend Tara decided to run the Witchlight Carnival.
Oh, I want to play that so bad.
And we had a blast.
Yeah.
And like some people that signed up didn't show, but then people that did show were like, hey, can I invite my friend? And they were like, yeah, help us fill up the table, please.
Yeah.
That people don't realize that when people don't show to a role-playing game, it becomes a problem. I remember way back at my first Atlanticon, I'm playing in the Palladium Fantasy role-playing game, which if you don't know what it is, it's basically D&D, just not D&D. And, the first time we play, like, we have 4 players. He's got, like, 8 characters. We're like, well, fuck it, let's just go. We had a great time, super fun. They, like, pulled their punches a little bit because we have half the party. But we had a great time, and the GM had a great time. It was super fun. I see him again because he's in the same room as a Shadowrun game I'm playing later that night. He's like, John, come over here. I'm like, I have a full party, and these guys are fucking idiots. It was not having as much fun. It's because they were taking it uber seriously.
Oh, no.
They're like, it's a dragon tactical encounter and must do, like, no, it's a dragon. You know what I did? I distracted him with my bow, and then the dwarf with the singing halberd crawled up his ass. I mean, literally, he crawled up his ass.
I remember.
What kind of skill check does it take to crawl up a dragon's ass?
Apparently, strength.
I would think dexterity, depending on on how you're getting in there.
With a halberd straight in.
Strength.
I was role playing. It was at Gen Con. And I was testing out the new Valiant RPG that just came out, and it was the first time learning it. And they have some rules that you want to do something, you can do it. And the GM was telling me that the last game session, somebody pulled in Obama carrying Uzis, blowing things up, and they were like, it was the coolest, funnest shit he'd seen in a long time, because they didn't care. They were like, let's just go and have fun playing this game.
Sometimes you just have to have fun, and sometimes we get stuck in that mentality. All of us. Like I said, I don't remove myself. Sometimes I just stuck in that mentality, and I don't even know. But sometimes you get stuck in that mentality when you need to be just having a good time.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Rolling the dice, making the pew-pews.
Yeah. And, like, we need to get more back to that in our casual games, whatever, That's maybe the one thing that makes me kind of want to play Necromunda with the guys. I'm not going to, but, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. They want to do a lot of cool, rules and stuff to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff,
There's a reason why I like campaign miniature games that you're doing stuff, because you're like, can I do this? Fuck yeah, go ahead. It makes it cool. The rule of cool comes into effect really well in campaign games.
Oh, the Kilted Viking. I am certain Gonzo has a plethora of events that he can tell you about for Warfare Weekend.
Oh, yeah. So, are we asking
You might wanna-
events at Warfare Weekend?
Yes, he's asking exactly that.
So
I was trying to be more subtle.
are they? So we have a ton. If you're talking about War Machine directly, there is 4 narrative events that are going to be happening. You do not want to miss these narrative events. I can't talk about them, but you do not want to miss these narrative events. They are going to be incredible, and they're a lot of fun. We also have what else? There's some competitive ones. It's like a 3v3 and a two-headed giant type
You
stuff.
gotta have competitive stuff. You got to, because some people want that. But we're so focused, we need to make sure we're have better balance.
There is what's called the Survivor Series, where you make a 150-point list, and when you get to the table, this is War Machine, of course. When you get to the table, you take your 150-point list and make a 50-point list, and play the scenarios. And the scenarios are not steamroller scenarios; they're different. And whatever dies, you don't get to use in the next few rounds, so you have to play, kind of cautiously.
No. All offense.
You just have to be.
The best offense is a good defense.
The best defense is a good offense.
Boot to the head.
I haven't heard that in
So
forever.
you wish me to bring the twins, Butu and the head.
But there's a ton of narrative fun shit going on.
Yeah.
Infinity is doing some type of narrative fun event. I know that
Infinity is a game with all the rules in it inherently to do cool, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Just the way it works, it is basically, I mean, if you guys haven't played Infinity, it is basically the fighting system to a role-playing game.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it plays out. But there's so much opportunity to do fun stuff with all the hacking, and just they have a plethora, literal plethora of rules.
Yeah. Malifaux is doing the cupcake event.
Okay, that's fair.
Or I don't know the full rules on it, but I guess you bring cupcakes to the event and some other stuff.
I love that they demand cupcakes.
Yeah, it is.
Cupcakes are required to
yeah,
enter.
they are.
Malifaux's another good one where it's got a lot of good potential for stuff like that. If you just don't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games out there that can do that. Even, this comes around a lot on Twitter and all as a meme, but people think 40K is serious business. Have you fucking looked at 40K?
It's not.
It's not. Like, yeah, it's got some dark and gritty stuff, but it's also got some whimsical funny. Just look at fucking Papa Nurgle, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand that it fucking, they're trying to, appeal to people they appeal to, but I miss some of the sillier stuff. Like some of the fan stuff ideas, like the orcs are bummed out that Commissar Yarick's dead because they liked fighting him because he kept beating them and getting them stronger. That kind of cool stuff. I miss some of that.
Zinch.
Yeah. There's a lot of. We haven't made the announcement yet, but at Warfare Weekend, someone is running, and I won't say it's a Twilight Imperium tournament, but they're running each day is a Twilight Imperium game.
Did you see the video of the guy sitting there saying, "Would you like to waste 6 hours of your day?"
They're
Imperium.
Yeah, they're doing it for they're booking a 12-hour block.
Yeah, I've heard that game's like that.
Yeah.
I used to play Advanced Civilization with the guys. That was my first non-war game. Spoiler, I made it a war game because I'm John.
I feel so out of the loop being the non-war game player.
Look, I mean, technically Civilization is not a war game. It's about making your civilization more advanced and more, growing and prospering, not sending random dudes over to fuck everything up like I do.
So is it kind of like Sid Meier's Civ?
No, not exactly. It's
okay.
They came out
same concept, but yeah, it's the same concept though.
Yeah, it's kind of a diplomacy game where you're trading things. Your people are expanding. It's a fun game. They just told me starting out, John, this is not a war game, and then I buy metalworking first, and it's a fucking war game.
Baniana, I already spend enough money on minis to then pick up a war gaming habit.
Actually,
because I know exactly what I would play, and I know
you don't need to pick it up. Only one person in the group has to have it. That's the wonder of board games.
Board games, yeah.
And it's one of those things, but those are fun. I'll be honest, I felt like I made it big, and I was finally a true war gamer the first time I won a game of Civilization.
Nice.
I've made it, guys. I am here. I'm not just the younger guy you get to beat up on. I've won this game.
I'm more of a Ticket to Ride girl.
That's still a good game.
Like people, piss on a lot of the
Or
intro-y
Axis and
things
Allies
you
if I really want to get involved.
Well, you
I mean,
actually have some
Axis and
miniature
Allies
war
is-
game stuff now, by the way.
I haven't played Axis and Allies in like 15, 20 years.
But they always make me play Russia. And the worst
I
is they make me
always-
play Russia against like, oh, we got lots of new players. John, just play Russia. I'm like, do you want Germany to lose? Because this is how you get Germany to lose. I have played Russia against people who are really good at the game. Like, all I have to do is fucking survive. And if the German player doesn't know what he's doing, I'm going to do more than survive. It's going to be, woo woo, the pain train is coming.
Oh, Guillotine is a great game,
Yes.
Xander. Yes.
There's a lot of fun board games out there. And that's, like, literally, I think that's where the sweet spot at a lot of cons are. Because, War Machine, any tournament for any game takes a long time.
Yeah.
And at that point, the the allure of a miniature game starts to lose its luster compared to playing a good board game.
We do
Yeah,
have
Sure,
a board
I can
game
play 12
library
hours
too.
playing a War Machine tournament, or I can play 12 hours playing Twilight Imperium. That's a
Or
toss up
s-
there.
Or 3 to 4 board games, depending on the board game.
Exactly.
We do have a board game library, so you can pick out a board game anytime you want and go play it too. FYI.
Yep, that's the way that our local convention is too.
Yeah. Our
And
local
that's-
game store game night provides the library.
Like, I don't know if they have tournaments now, but the last time I remember them running any kind of tournament pre-COVID was Skylanders,
oh my gosh.
because they had stuff for kids.
We
Like,
we
they
used to
had
do all
kids'
sorts of that stuff pre-COVID and all, and also one of the buddies moved away from the store. We'd come in early, we'd play like a board game or something fun for a bit, go get lunch at the local barbecue place, and then do whatever with the rest of the day. Maybe go to his
Yeah.
house, play other games, maybe role play, who knows.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the local store does do that. They have, like, I've played all sorts of random board games. We're just sitting there at the local game store going, what do we do? And someone's like, grabs, like, here's a game where we're trees and we're growing. Let's fucking go. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Grow these fucking trees.
Oh, what's the one that my dad got for Christmas? Wingspan.
Oh yeah,
It's all
Wingspan's good.
birds. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wingspan's a great
fun.
game.
I miss tabletop on YouTube because, man, it made you see these games like, that looks super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, super fun. And like some of these games, going back to the whole competitive versus things, we played a lot of X-Wing early on, and then it started getting competitive, and we're like, maybe not. And then I had the most fun I had playing X-Wing just over at Marshall's place, just playing. Like when they came out, the core book had like 4 scenarios, then each of the bigger boxes, the Millennium Falcon, all that came with bigger scenarios. With those scenarios, we just started playing all the scenarios. It was super fun.
There you go.
We don't need these tournaments and all these people going like, well, I'm just playing to kill enough of your stuff and I'm going to run away. Like, fuck off. Like when a game like Marvel Crisis Protocol has to change their scenarios because people are just grabbing something and running away and trying to just, win without interacting. If that's all you're worried about is just the winning, you just go fucking play chess.
Yeah.
Just play chess. That's the game for that, chess or Go. Probably Go is better, but with all due respect to chess, Go seems more interesting. Surprisingly, given what I do, I'm not great at either game.
Same. I will whoop anybody at Othello though.
Fair enough. If you don't give me some dice and fucking give me a chance to punch my way out of a bad situation, like, I have beaten the Devil Squid on janky dice rolls so many times that just annoyed him in all of our slow grow leagues. He's like, got me dead to rights. I'm like, well, need like not much to hit. Got it. Need like 17 or 18 to damage to kill you. 17. See ya. Done that so many times. It's just stupid. Just to him, mostly. That's why we love dice games. You just want to chip in a chair, right? You want to have the dream. I can win this still. I'm still in it. But yeah, that's why the alternate, like fun games are more interesting because sometimes it doesn't matter, you just got to do what you're doing. Have some fun. Blurry. There we go.
Eee.
He's looking mighty pestilent. Wow, that hurts my eyes. There we go.
It focused.
Yeah, I manually focus it, so.
Well, it happens, and I'm like, did I take my glasses off? Because that's how things look like without my glasses. So Friday, I got home from work. It was not a good week. I was up early Friday, sick, but I made it into work, worked a whole day. It was okay. Managed to get through it. I'm like, I'm going to lie down for like 10 minutes. Just chill. 4 hours later, when I wake up at like fucking 9 p.m., I'm like, well, shit. Now it's late enough that I can't really paint because I need to put on my big visor. My visor won't fit under these things, my headphones. So I can't listen to music, and that shit's not happening. I'm painting without music.
Yeah.
So I had to assemble stuff, but man, that's how it looks if I try and paint without it. Like I can assemble a little bit with just without my glasses, but it's tough. Don't get old, people. It sucks.
I am blind without my contacts or glasses. I have to hold stuff within like 2 inches of my face. End of my nose is about the distance I can see.
Well, I used to buy some that went on like glasses. Like, so they fit on with these, but they kept breaking. I broke 2 within the space of like a year and change. So I bought more sturdy ones, and they're great. But I'm thinking I might just buy the other one just for cases like this where I can't just, unplug my headphones, listen to music. I don't want to disturb the neighbors. I'm a nice guy. Don't let that get out. People might fucking expect shit then. But, yeah. But yeah, just having fun, We just want to have some fun stuff. Don't
I want my
min-max all your
money's
stuff.
worth. That's the thing is I want my money's worth. If I'm going to go to a convention and I want to play something, I don't want to just play one game, especially if I'm playing and I'm going to be there or I'm going to be losing. I mean, because there was this person who was like, I lost 1B. There was nothing else I could do. So I lost. I got
First
2.
off, that's a game no one should be playing. That should not actually be possible.
Yeah.
Without, like, I ran my Warcaster up and I was stupid and he fucking murdered me.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that. It was another game.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, they want to get their time in. Is the best way to put it.
Well, yeah, and so conventions are a great place to have like the banner bearer events. That's fine, but it should just be one. You shouldn't have this serious event and this serious event and this. Have one serious event. If it's serious enough, even make it like, hey, if you don't win your first round, you'll get kicked so you can go do other stuff with your life in the tournament. Make that clear. Because, after the first round, a lot of people drop anyways. If you make it clear, they'll know expectation-wise. Oh, hey, I lost. I can just wander off and go do something, not wait and see if my opponent's going to show up. Even though, honestly, the loser's bracket's the fun bracket.
Yeah.
But they should do that. And like events, like we don't mind if you charge a little bit to get into your open gaming room. We understand you've got space that could have been for stuff you can make money on, but make it a reasonable price. We won't care. Like heck, we're paying for a fucking badge. Maybe you should think about having some space for us just in general. But that's like what it should be. You need to make that available because some of us just want to meet new people and play games.
Also, sign up for events if you're going to be there. Don't sign up. Don't go to events expecting a spot to be open and then get pissed off when there's not a spot open.
Yeah.
Now, if you go expecting a spot to be open and don't get pissed off when it's not open, I'm okay with you because you have realistic expectations. But
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to if you're going to an event, you're like, oh, I want to play in this, Warcaster event. I'm not going to sign up. I'll just walk in and do it. And then it's full, and then you get pissy. And that was the only thing that you were planning on doing. Sorry.
Well, you have fucked around, and now you are finding out.
Also, make sure you sign up for events because if you don't sign up, some conventions will take that spot and shrink it so they only have 10 open spots instead of 20 like you were expecting.
Yeah, as much as we want it to not all be about money, to an extent they have to stay solvent, so it's going to be a lot about money. And if we do things right on one end, registering for events and all that, that gives them more money and more availability to do maybe what we need on the other end.
Yeah. Sign up for events.
Yes.
If you're like, hey, I'm going to go play the Warcaster event, or I'm going to bring my Warcaster army. Oh, man, they're doing this narrative at War Budgies. our good friend of ours, is doing a Warcaster narrative event.
Cool.
Go do it. He
Go do
makes great, amazing narrative events, but sign up for it, because if not, that's got to be shrunk, because there's other spaces that are going to take it over. So
It is better to sign up and not show up. I know it might cost you money in some cases. In some cases, it won't. Like Warfare Weekend, it won't cost you money.
No, that got you anything.
Cookie.
It's better to sign up and not show up than to not sign up and then show up. Hi, Cookie.
How's your ma?
All right. Is it about time?
You gonna paint that bell bronze? It's got to be bronze, right?
Oh yeah. I'm
Bronze
trying to get all
concrete.
the pustules and gross stuff and everything.
use,
Hey, Cookie.
Use that super sweet
Which one?
Turbo Door color.
You have to tell me what it is, and I'll pull it out. I have their entire paint line.
Good now.
Oh, I'm the favorite now. Sweet.
Yay.
But yeah, guys, go have fun at events. Go if you're a TO, or if a local game store. It doesn't have to be a convention. Local game store. Make up stuff that's fun for people to play. That way you can have a good time. make it worth people's while. and if it's going to be like you're doing a tournament and it's a small tournament, just go. Okay, we're gonna play more rounds. What's the name of it?
Life on Mars.
Life on Mars. Okay, yeah, I got that.
That's the one I use a lot on. Like, it just looks. Even if it doesn't color shift, it just fucking looks good.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Cause I'm gonna make. I want that to be kind of. I may put like some patina on it to type 2. So
It's reddish, so patina would actually look good on there because the red sort of greenish, that would look. Chef's kiss.
But make sure you sign up for events, because if you want to see more events,
Yep.
and you want to see it get bigger, that's the only way that they're gonna be able to do it.
And
That's
if they
just
ask
how it
you
is.
for like, hey, can you give us some feedback? Give the feedback.
Yes.
Especially for something like this. It's one thing if you don't like give feedback all the time, but if it's an event like this, give feedback. Hey, I'd like to see more non-competitive events. They'll think about that. They'll put that out there. They'll say like, hey, we had a bunch of people say we'd like to see more non-competitive events. What can you guys bring us?
I will tell you right now that there are more non-competitive events being filled up than competitive events overall convention wide.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've noticed that we've been talking, like I said, I've been talking to a lot of TOs, and they're all saying that the non-competitive events or more casual type tournaments are filling up faster and getting more people than the competitive events across all games, not just Warhammer or War Machine. It's everywhere. Hey, I will tell you, I love Infinity. I think it's a ton of fun. I like my models. I want to play it, but I don't want to play in a competitive event. One, I'm not good enough. Two, actually, these guys are actually really cool about that too, and they don't care. They're like, yeah, fucking come in. We'll have a good time playing. The Battletech guys are really, really cool about that. I'm sitting there playing in Battletech, and I'm just like, I know I'm going to lose this game. This guy's playing with them tanks. I have nothing really to punch through a ton of tank armor and tank health. And yeah, but I mean, what I brought at that time. And so
Tanks are just scary because all their armor is focused in one location. It also just means if you just keep hitting them like you would a mech, shit goes down real quick.
correct. But I'm sitting there playing against this guy, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to roll in. I'm going to run in and just shoot everything up as much as possible. And the guy's like, he sees it, and he's like, I'm like, why aren't you shooting my guy? He's like, well, you've only been playing for like 20 minutes. I want to continue with the game. I says, no, blow me the fuck up and let's go get a beer.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? Are you okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Blow me the fuck up right now. Let's go have some fun somewhere else now.
My last round at the GT I went to, the 40K GT, the guy was like, let's pass. Was not on my level. We were having a great time though. We're playing. He's like, can we take a quick break? I want to get a beer. I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead. He goes, gets a beer, comes back. We just keep playing. I don't keep like he's playing a good sport, and I mean, I'm just crushing him because it happens. But you know, I don't care. It's like I've told those people, like he's like, this guy's got this look, like, oh my god. I'm like, dude, are you not having fun? He's like, yeah, just this isn't going well, and I'm not rolling well, and you're doing a great job. I'm like, do you want to stop? He's like, no, you should get all your points. No, if you're not having fun, we stop. I'm not actually care about winning this fucking thing. He's like, why are you? I just want to play. If you're not having fun, then we're not playing anymore. He had a steam tank, and as a joke in the turret, he has Santa Claus ringing a bell. And my Skippy, my Lord of Change, was like, "That is a rival chaos power. It must be killed." So we had, I was having a fun time, and he just noticed he wasn't. Like, keep that in mind when you're playing, guys. We're having fun. If someone's not having fun, give them an out. Like, hey, you want to stop? We can call it right here.
Yeah.
Why don't, and Tio's get upset. Don't like, Tio, I don't want to win. I'm just having fun. This guy's not having fun anymore. Why are we going?
I was in a tournament and playing this guy, and we start going off, and his like hands are shaking, and you can tell he's sweating and everything. And it was a tournament, and I'm like, I flipped the clock over in my mind. I'm like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Is something going on?" He's like, "Well, one, you're Gonzo, and two, I heard you're a really good player." And I'm like, "One, yes, I'm Gonzo. Two, people are telling you you're full of shit." And he's like, "Well, a couple other people are telling me that you stomped them and all this other stuff." And I'm like, "Three, it's a game, dude. Just take your time. Relax.
The worst
Take
thing
some
can
deep
happen
breath."
is you let the reputation of someone get you.
Yeah, I'm like,
We-
just take a deep breath, then we can play.
We did the Mid-Atlantic team tournament one year. My first opponent was like the leader of a team that won last year, really good player. Luckily, no one told me beforehand, so I just fucking played the game and trounced him. And I was just, we had a good game. Like, it wasn't like I blew him off the board. We had a good game, but I came out pretty handily on top. And I was like, I didn't know who he was. We just had a fun game.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Just have fun.
you got to talk to. I mean, this guy, he was so super nervous. He was shaking, like moving his model. I mean, his hands were literally.
Your life does not depend
shaking.
on this game, sir.
No,
We're
chill.
not going to kill you
Yeah.
afterwards. You know what's going to happen? We're going to take you out for a beer.
This
Yeah.
isn't America's
Or-
Got Talent, where your entire career and future rests in this moment. Like,
Your 15 minutes of fame is not going to happen here.
yeah,
I was like, and eventually he was like, after we were done, he was like, "Thanks, I had a good game. You beat me, but we had a good game." And I says, "That's what we're here for."
Yes, that's what we're here for. Having a good game. Having fun. That's the key. It's games. Fun.
Let's get to that media section, because I know John says he's got at least 7 this time.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Technically, that. I could technically go 6, and I'm part of the way through a 7th if you're willing to go that way, fucker.
I got 2.
I got 4.
Uh-huh. We'll start
It was
throwing
not-
out numbers
it was not a
like
high
they're
medium.
real, and fucking, they're real.
Most of it was one series.
So I watched. I'm gonna do my worst one first. Since it was free on one of the Paramount or whatever or something, I watched the Super Mario movie. Man,
The new one or the
the new
original
one.
or the one?
No, the cartoon
Oh.
one.
Okay.
I did not like it at all. It was very chop slap. It was very much, "Hey, look, we're making a joke. Hey, we're making a joke.
Gonzo,
Hey, we're making a
it's
joke."
made for kids.
It was
You may not
very.
have noticed, but if you look in the mirror, you might realize you're no longer a child.
What?
But I have childlike tendencies when it comes to fun stuff. It was very much catering. It didn't even go very well, but it was very choppy through it.
Kids came out of it and they had a great
Correct.
time. You know
Yeah.
what? That's all I fucking care about for that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I'm not dogging it that and when I got done watching it, this was meant very much for kids. They didn't get all the jokes, you can tell, because there was some stuff I was like, "Oh shit, they went there with that one." They had some adult comedy into it, but to me it was not good. It was very slow paced. It was very choppy. It didn't flow right, but for a kid with ADHD, probably would have been great. 'Cause like, scene.
Nerd, last time he
Scene!
did this, it was Ready Player One. I kind of want to watch the Mario movie now just to see if I disagree with him.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it is
Me
free,
too.
so it is free.
What's it on?
Peacock, I think.
I
Oh,
have
okay.
to-
I've got that.
I have to wait till they get the John Wick, the Continental. Then I will get Peacock
Oh
for
my
a
God,
one-off to watch
yes.
the Continental, Twisted Metal, and then whatever else.
Yeah,
It'll
I
be a
think that's
month
where
to
it's
just
on.
watch that.
I'll check, but it gets my 2.5. It's just
Oh,
meh.
that's fair for a movie that's not aimed at you.
Correct. I didn't like that they used.
So you say it's equal with Beastmaster?
I like Beastmaster more, but that's nostalgia kicking in there. I don't like that they did use Chris Pratt for the voice when they could have just used the regular Mario guys for the voice. I really wish they would have, because it would have sounded better. Because they did use his voice when he was doing Mario things. So I think it would just win better. But
I think they should have used what's his name from The Mandalorian.
Oh, Pedro Pascal. He's better than Pratt any day.
Oh yeah.
Also, they did the that Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's magic. So 2.5, fair enough.
Yeah, it was just okay. So, Nerd, what you got?
I've got Megan.
Okay. You mean
Watch
Me
that.
3gan?
Me 3gan. Yes, Me 3gan. Watch that this morning. Better than I expected, but incredibly predictable.
Oh yeah.
So I give it like 2.
Okay.
Because it looked good. It was fun to watch.
It got good reviews.
Yeah. But my roommate and I both thought it was incredibly predictable.
Yeah, fair enough on that.
And then, yeah.
So I'll start with one that I know Gonzo saw in the theater when it came out, Enter the Dragon.
Actually, I don't think I saw that.
That's an old joke, Gonzo. It came out 50 fucking years ago.
I have never seen a Bruce Lee movie all the way through. It's still on my list of things to do.
Enter the Dragon is the best one in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that's the one that I keep trying to watch, but like keep getting interrupted like half an hour into the movie.
It is because so this was the Fathom events, and Leonard Maltin's before it, looking a little old, but he is. And, talking about the things. This is the first time he got American production, American money, so he could actually do more with it. And for a Kung Fu movie, it is absolutely great. Like, a lot of the stuff holds up very well with today's stuff. Some of it not so much, but, holds up better than most Kung Fu movies of the era. Again, this is a 50-year-old movie. And I love it. It is very much like a James Bond Kung Fu movie, the way it's set up. All 3 of the key good guy actor, protagonist actors do a great job. Jim Kelly, John Saxon, and Bruce Lee do a great job. The villains all do their part. There's not a lot of fat to cut off of this movie. It's handled pretty much literally with some flashbacks to give you why all of them, all their backgrounds, but they're not too long. It doesn't really overstay its welcome at any point. The action is mostly good. A couple times a little wire-fu, fun-ish, but things done in reverse to make it look like things are happening. But it's super fun, Mr. Handman. Yes, Jim Kelly was great in that actually. And I didn't know John Saxon actually knew judo and karate. That's why they cast him partially, because he was fluent in those. And as one of the first appearances of Bolo Young, who's a fucking legend, been in so many movies as a henchman.
I'm sure I'd recognize him.
He is the main bad guy from Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh my god, that guy!
Bolo Young and those guys are the greatest of friends too. It's great.
I watched Bloodsport so many times because they ran it so much on TNT.
That's Jean-Claude Van Damme duty.
Yeah.
But no, Enter the Dragon's great. Bruce Lee was taken from us way too early. He was literally just about to hit his zenith, his peak here. He would have had an amazing career, but much like his son, passed too early. Much like his son passed before they could see probably their best movie.
Yep.
But I enjoy the crap out of it. It's actually the one I saw was the full version. They have like 1 or 2 scenes that they put in to make up for scenes they took out. They put shorter scenes in to take up for very much longer scenes they took out. But some of the extra exposition and all that was very worth it and very good. I recommend it. I'm going to give it half, because some of the stuff doesn't hold up as well. There's toward the end, there's a couple times people were laughing out loud at some of the stuff. And on a rating of Casablanca to Cats, I'm going to put it right behind Casablanca, a couple steps. Gonzo?
So I'm still going through my teenage years movies. And of course, Pretty in Pink is out there. Pretty in Pink with Molly Ringwald. and the whole club and everything of those people. And it's actually funny to see some of the people because some of them are still acting now. And it's to see them. What?
I've never seen Pretty in Pink.
Well, I don't expect you to see that one. But I think it's one of the few of the Molly Ringwald movies that is not great, but it's just okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I generally hear like, "Oh, you haven't seen Pretty in Pink? Oh my God, John!" Like, it's
No,
not really my thing.
I like 16 Candles better.
Yeah,
Either.
but I'm working my way through my list. But this one came up, and it was still free, so I was like, I'll watch it really quickly.
Look, hit me when Breakfast Club comes on.
Oh yeah, that's in there. But I mean, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, I remember all this, and yeah, it was okay. But what I really laughed at is I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was wearing clothes that was straight from the movie. And we always chit chat, and she's her upper 20s. And I said, you and I got to talk. So we took one of our little walkabouts the building where we just chat about whatever. And I showed her, I was like, have you seen this movie? And she goes, no, I've never heard of it. And I says, you're wearing the clothes from that movie right now. And she goes, what? And I showed her a picture of, Molly Ringwald's clothes in the movie. And she was like, holy shit. I goes, yeah, my clothes are at the time are now back in style. And she was just laughing. But go to the movie. I don't think it's, I mean, I'm going to give it a 2. There's some kind of cringy moments, especially Ducky, where
in a Revenge of the Nerds style, right? We're like, haha, at the time. Now you're like,
oh yeah.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah, Ducky with his infatuation with this with Molly Ringwald's character and like constantly hounding her and riding around the block to see her and all this other stuff. And I was like, ooh, that would have, gotten some, problems.
Yeah, that's what young, horny teenagers do, though.
Correct. But I mean...
And they don't mean anything stalkery by it generally. It just sort of is.
Yeah. But there was some stuff. It was like, ooh, and then some of the things that that were going on with the popular it crowd people, and I was like, okay. So, but I mean, it was okay. It's still there. It's still one of my childhood movies, but I give it a 2 space herpes. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Nerd.
I'm gonna go with one that I rewatched. That's one of my personal favorites. Is Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh. And it comes with.
Oh my God, they actually squeed.
The animation of this.
Yes.
I've heard nothing but good, but I haven't seen it.
It's one of the most beautifully. I love Leica Studios. Like it is heavily influenced in Origami. The music is incredible. The story is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say 0.
I almost bought a steelbook of it this week because I was on the site and I needed something else to get free shipping. And I'm like, I've heard good things, but I wasn't really sure I wanted to go full steelbook on a whim.
Yeah, it's Xander's on it. It is the work on it is amazing. The stop motion movie. Yeah. It's so good, and that it's. I don't want to say it's a lost art, but it's an art that is going away. That when you see it, it's very, very good because they take a lot of pride in that work.
Yeah, like anything that Leica puts out, I will watch. Like I own 4 of their movies, and I think the only one I don't have is Missing Link.
Watch that one.
Mm-hmm. But like Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, Kubo, all of those.
It's
just
free anywhere right now. Looks like.
Speaking of,
pay for it.
Yeah.
I have my Coraline doll.
Yep. Box Trolls is good and fun, and Paranormal is really good too.
Paranorman, yeah.
Yeah, Paranorman, which I think was one of the interesting things, is that was one of the first times you see a gay male character.
It's
because
true.
The football jock guy, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna love my boyfriend," and I was like, "What?"
I love it when they make it nonchalant like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a big deal. Because it shouldn't be a big deal.
No, but it came up, and I was like, "What?" That's
Yeah,
okay.
because
Yeah.
the one sister's hitting on him the whole time, and then
Yep.
he's just like, "Oh man, you'd love my boyfriend."
Yeah.
Well, that movie is
So
$4 on iTunes to buy, which
it.
is cheaper than renting it on Amazon. So there's a chance. Might
Do
pick
it.
that up.
do it.
Yeah.
So, my next one is a follow-up to last week's.
Okay.
Since they're both on the same disc, and all I had to do was turn it over. God, old DVDs are fucking.
Turn it over.
We flip it. Oh, that is old.
Flip it
Wow.
over.
Now, remember
I
when you
flipped
used
it
to-
That
over?
was even a thing.
Yeah, I have a couple like that. I have one that still is flipped for part 2.
Or
Stargate. Like,
Fl-
I watched first half, and I have to flip it for the second half because it came with my DVD player back in the day.
Oh man.
or you flipped it over to widescreen.
No, it's not quite that bad. But so I watched, since I watched The Fugitive last week, I watched U.S. Marshals this week.
Oh,
which
okay.
is a soft sequel.
Yep.
I say soft because it wasn't advertised as a sequel, though Tommy Lee Jones and all of his crew are back. Joey Pants and everyone else is part of his crew. I like Joey. He does such a
I
good
love
job.
that I'm not the only one that calls him Joey Pants.
Like, a lot of people call him Joey Pants. He's just enjoyable in movies.
Yes.
He's got a style. He knows how to bring it the right level for the movie. And he's enjoyable in this, and it's, Tommy Jones is reprising his character, Deputy U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard, and this time he's hunting down, what is it, Wesley Snipes?
Yep.
And he gets Robert Downey Jr. as a DSS agent he's got to be on his thing. Young Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
This is sort of one of his intro back in. He had his whole thing. He's getting back in, and I thought all the people did a good job in this. Like, I wouldn't say any of them killed it, except maybe Tommy Lee Jones. But Tommy Lee Jones is one speed, and it's killing it.
Yeah.
The rest I thought were absolutely fine. Oh, Joey Pants too. I mean, Joey Pants just being Joey Pants the whole thing. When you can be a tertiary character like he is in the movie and still stand out every scene, great job.
Oh, hands down.
This is much more actiony than suspensey, detective-y than the Fugitive. They went a little more into the action for this one, but it is super enjoyable. Not quite as good as the first one. I'd give this maybe 1.5. Some of the things are a little unrealistic. It's a little contrived at points, but it's enjoyable, especially because you just watch Tommy Lee Jones go again, and super fun. The story's a little weak at points. Just like, this is a little far afield, but you know what? Whatever, it's a hoot.
I love that I can Google Joey Pants and I get him.
That's what it
Because
should be.
I started to
Joey
try
Pants.
and type in his name, and it was like
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants, and I'm like, yes, I do. Ta-da!
It's one of those things I just love seeing in movies. Like, he's a bonus.
Oh yeah.
Like the
Goonies?
Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, yes, Goonies, the Daredevil movie. He shows up as Ben Urich. I like, just enjoyable to have in there.
Right.
I don't hate that movie. It's not
What was
like
it
having seen season
Wasn't-
1 of Daredevil. I'm like, it doesn't hold a candle to that season, but I don't hate it.
No.
And, like, I've
But
been told, but then I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, this is a whole different thing.
Speaking of the Ben Affleck Daredevil, supposedly he and Jennifer Garner are reprising their roles as Daredevil and Elektra for the new Deadpool movie.
I feel like Deadpool is going to be a better version of what The Flash wanted to be, even though I haven't seen The Flash, and saying that it wasn't good is probably not really fair, but I'll say it anyways. Though I do want to see it because Michael Keaton is Batman. Because
I wait until it comes out on for free, but
I'll wait until it
I
comes.
would
I'll
pay
wait until
a
it comes
small
out.
amount for it.
well, I'm
That'd
waiting.
be like me get Banyan out of the Banyan cave and like, hey Banyan, let's watch this thing.
I'm trying to get my roommate out of the house so we can go see the Barbie movie in the theater.
Absolutely. Like,
If nothing else, I want to see Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie.
early on a weekend is great. Like, so I was at the theater. I did this 4:00 on a Sunday. Wasn't too bad. The guy next to me though had his phone muted, but it does a thing when it has a alert, it fucking flashes,
Ugh.
and I was ready to stab him to fucking death. I swear. It's like, really? Like, I can understand it happened once. He didn't turn it off. Happened once more in the movie, and the fact it only happened twice, it was okay. But I'm like, motherfucker, you should have turned that off after the first one. You probably should turn it off before you came in. It's a fucking movie. We're in a dark
Yeah.
theater that's like fucking a flashbang. Half of a flashbang right there.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a dirty Barbie joke. Let me send it to Mizzy. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, then I'm trying to Flash Me too. I do want to see it, but not enough to see it in the theater. And not enough to pay too much money for it. Like I said, I'll pay like $3 or $4 to rent or purchase it. Much more than that? No, fuck off. I guess my money on better things. There are action figures calling my name.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
I think
US
we're on
Marshal,
me next.
1.5-ish.
Oh, there we go. Yep. 1.5-ish. Okay.
Gonzo.
Going back to more kids movies. Some Kind of Wonderful. Some Kind of Wonderful was a very has Eric Stoltz, Mary Stuart Masterson.
Okay. I know of it, never seen it.
Oh, and my teenage crush, Leah Thompson.
Oh yeah.
My friend just got his picture taken with her at a convention in Chicago.
Like, Back to the Future, yeah. Then fucking Space Camp, you're like, oh, it doesn't. I mean, her and I mean,
And then one of
standards.
one of the
Mia
unknown
Sarah,
actors.
fucking, what's her name in Labyrinth?
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
fucking
one of
Elias
the
Cody's
unknown
too?
ones was Elias.
He
Kotis?
played Casey Jones in fucking TMNT.
Yep. Yeah, he was played Casey Jones.
Yeah.
He's always got a soft place in my heart.
Yeah.
You know what? I need to rewatch that first TMNT movie.
Yeah.
That movie's not bad.
Same.
So-
It's been a long time since I've watched the first one.
So of course this is a John Hughes. So all of the things in there. I really like this one because
Is this the Eric Stoltz first date? Leah Thompson, who's the popular girl. With
yes,
the
and he's the scrub
who he
and
actually,
yeah, the poor kid in school. And
And
it's really, really good. It's a lot of fun. It's a good teenage drama. Watts is really fun. The character Watts and everything. And I really like this one. And it's got heart to it, in my opinion. It's got a lot more heart to it than
I mean, it's
people
like
think.
the standard plot. It's like the first of that standard plot that
Yep.
becomes again and again.
Yeah.
It's something about being John Hughes. Makes great movies.
Oh yeah, he made great movies, especially great teenage movies. And there's just something about it. Elias in this really gets me because he's this punk and he's a badass and he's always causing trouble, but he realizes that people are, people and that you should treat people kind and so on and so forth. And you kind of break that hard exterior of this punk. And then he gets to show up and kick the shit out of, the preppy, hardcore bullies.
The real bullies, yeah.
Yeah, the real bullies. Because originally you think, okay, this guy's a punk rocker. He's the bully of the show. And then you find out, no, it's the preppy rich kid that's the actual bully. And so he comes in and he, causes
like
all
Joey
this
Pants.
stuff.
He's on that list of,
Yeah.
of actors I like seeing when he's in movies because I'm going to generally enjoy him.
Yeah. And I really like this movie. It's one of my favorite teenage shows because it kind of breaks the mold on stuff. It kind of, gets things a little bit different. The characters are good and fun. There's a good father-son scene and everything in there. I really like this one. I give this one, I would say probably a 1 to maybe 1.5. Because it is a little dated, but I mean, it is a teenage movie in the 80s.
I mean, Gonzo, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
okay,
When was this made?
math number of years ago. 36 years
1987.
old. 36 years old.
Yeah.
I was 5.
Yeah.
It could technically have legally had a child who is graduating high school now.
Yeah. If you like John Hughes, you'll like this one. If you like very unique characters, something different, you'll like this one. I liked it a lot. It's one of my top favorite teen movies from my childhood, from my teenage
Awesome.
years. Nerd.
It's do YouTube series
whatever.
count?
Whatever. We
Okay.
don't care.
I found a new D&D series to watch.
Mhm.
They actually stream on Twitch. I'm now just jumping into the beginning of the campaign, but it's Legends of Evantris doing Once Upon a Witchlight. They spend the first 20-some episodes at the carnival. That's supposed to last like 1, maybe 2 sessions. They spend the first 20 sessions at the carnival for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And I'm on like episode 4 or 5, and it's, first of all, there's a goblin character, so you know I'm in. Secondly, same guy also plays the ghost of a dead clown that one of the guys kills in the first episode.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a crocodile lizard folk, a tabaxi, a goblin, and a tiefling. And it's
I think
I
Xander's
first
seen it
dis-
too.
yeah. Yeah, Chuckles. Yeah, Chuckles. Chuckles the clown. Oh, hello. And it's like that kind of a voice. But I would probably give it 1 because it's I they get it's dragging a little bit because they're taking so long at the carnival, but they're also ridiculous the entire time that they're there. So yeah, I would say I give it 1.
Fair enough. Well, I have multiple things to talk about, but I'm going to talk about the album I listened to this week.
Okay.
Now, it's an old album, but one of my people at work had mentioned she heard a cover of Rolling Stone's Paint It Black that was, as I described for a previous cover, so aggressively mediocre you had to go listen to the original.
Was it the Sierra cover?
It was from, what was it, Punk Goes Classic Rock, or Punk Goes and Makes a fucking fool of itself, I'd like to call it. It is...
Punk Goes 80s, Punk Goes Pop. Yeah, I used to listen to this.
So, I love Punk Goes Pop. Like, those
Punk
are
Goes
generally
Pop
really good. They should not be doing classic rock because I don't know. They all sound like fucking pop songs. And it is not right for most of these. The Paint It Black might be the best one on there, and it is, as I said, aggressively mediocre. Like, I'm listening, and this is like 14 tracks or some such shit, 15 tracks. And I'm like, I looked at the track list beforehand, and I'm like, oh, they're going to do fucking Pour Some Sugar on Me and fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. This shit's going to be probably a garbage fire. Oh, if I only had known. Oh, God. It gets so fucking, like, it keeps going and going. Like, Pour Some Sugar is like 9 or 10 or something. And at that point, it was fucking insulting. That track was so bad. And I'm watching it on YouTube, so occasionally I look at the fucking comments like, man, this is so good, or this is better than the original. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I hate to
How
say this
old are
to
the people making these comments?
Fucking kill yourself
Like
now. You don't know music, stop. This is terrible. And then, of course, you know, luckily the last track is not Bohemian Rhapsody, so it gets to end on a up note, because Bohemian Rhapsody is second last, and it's just not good. If you could imagine a pop version of fucking Bohemian Rhapsody done by a band that can't make it big, it was just not good. Like I said, track 9, it was completely like the worst. I love Def Leppard. Def Leppard was like my first favorite band. And Pour Some Sugar on Me is a great song. And this is just like, you took a rock anthem and you just fucking made it some pop drivel bullshit. No emotion really in it, no heart in it. And that's the problem with these, is there are some good pop songs. I am not going to say there are. There's some really good ones that hit really hard. But these bands cannot make songs that hit fucking hard. So all these songs that have meaning, just, they got nothing. They're just like painting by numbers. And it's fucking terrible. So I give Pop Goes Makes a Fucking Fool of Itself, aka does classic rock, 0 out of 10, and may God have mercy on its fucking soul. Do not listen to it. It is not worth the fucking space it takes on the internet.
Wow.
You're welcome. Look, I go like that sometimes. You didn't hear the one where I listened to 17 covers of Werewolves of London because...
Why? Why are there that many?
No more. Why are they not good? That's the more important thing. Why are there so many shit covers of Werewolves of London? If you want the good one is the Jerry Garcia Band does a fucking great one.
Okay.
which should not be surprised Jerry Garcia band. I mean, look, people make fun of the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead, fucking really good musicians.
Yeah.
They may not be your style. Good musicians. Anyways, I get like that sometimes. I will, probably have a touch of ADHD myself. I will focus on something until I had to find a good one. There's so many covers. I had to find a good cover. It took a long time. Anyways, I better now.
Guys, that is actually our show. We are
what
at
a note
the
to
end.
end on. Well played, John. Well played.
Look, find a song called Dilly Gaff.
Yes.
Listen,
Didn't I introduce you to that?
you might have. I think it was
Yeah.
on the
Izzy
upcoming
and I do it.
As the Paint Water.
Yeah, upcoming, which we'll be releasing soon. So if you are a subscriber to our channel, be it Patreon or a subscriber on Twitch, you can actually get and listen to
Do we
that
have
for free.
Discord subscribers yet?
We do not have any Discord subscribers.
Give it to you guys too if you subscribe on Discord. We don't care how.
Yeah, but
I
it'll
didn't
be
know you
only
could
for
subscribe on
subscribers.
Discord.
Yes. So, all right, guys, we're gonna send you off, of course, to the Pyro Club. We'll be rating them and get that we can listen to some D&D because they'll be over there. As usual, folks, please take care of yourself. Please look out for each other. Please, please, please make sure you're keeping healthy. Drink plenty of water. It is still fucking hot outside. Eat.
It was 104 in my car when I got out of the theater.
Yeah. Be careful out there, guys. It is really, really bad.
Hail hydrate.
Hail hydrate. Everybody, hail hydrate before we go.
Oh, I don't have a drink anymore.
So fired. Guys, be careful out there. Like we say, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something, do something. If you can't, find someone who will.
Be the change you want to see.
Yes. From One of the Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Nerd.
Good night. Make sure you hit that raid button and go over and see the Pyro Club.